Hey Leo, welcome to Seven Scorpion Tarot. I am your host with the most, and I want to welcome you to tonight's reading. So, Merry Christmas, Hana Kwanzaa, whatever you celebrate. If you do or don't celebrate, I want to wish you a happy holiday this week. Um, it's that time of the year. I hope you are getting together with people you care about, with, maybe a friend's miss if you don't have family that you're spending time with for one reason or another. And then for the celestial weather for you, um, you have been the talk of the town recently with Mars retrograding through your sign. So I want to do a self, shadow, and ego reading, kind of explore that a little bit. And seeing as I'm reading for Leo, I want to dip into the Audacity deck. So let's get into that a little bit and let's see what's going on for you. And this is the Last Unicorn tarot deck. This was my Christmas present to myself. Got this off of Etsy. Really, really like it. This is one of those, I guess, self-care presents, since last year I did not prioritize the Christmas present to myself. Okay, we're starting off strong on the self. Ooh, okay. Oh, but what I was saying, I didn't prioritize the Christmas present last year, so I didn't end up getting it. But this year I did, and I'm really happy with it. So I hope you did the same for yourself. But we've got the King of Wands and the Knight of Cups in reverse. Interesting. Very contradictory energy, fire and water. And it plopped right out, too. I was kind of yammering about prioritizing myself. So the Master of Idea, the Master of Will, and the Messenger of Emotions is blocked. Hmm. This is kind of throwing me for a little bit of a loop. But I really like the color contrast in that, like, kind of opposing energy there as well. And you can see her face is out of frame. The unicorn's face is out of frame. And I'm getting like she's turning away from the cup. She's turning away from the message. Maybe you fully realized this King of Wands energy, and the gender notwithstanding, whether it's your animus or anima energy. Um, Maybe you got to this fully realized energy of the King of Wands by rejecting something, or you will, because I think this is the way it came out, with the Knight of Cups in front and then King of Wands in the background. So maybe you blocking something, you blocking a message or turning away from a message is what unleashes that King of Wands energy. I want to see what the author says. Wands, Wands. So, maturity and wisdom, along with a clear vision, have allowed you to step forward as a charismatic leader. Your strong will serves as an influence in the outcome of the opportunities you choose to explore. A willingness to forge a direct path and avoid wasting anyone's time is inspiring to others. They see your power and determination and are ready to wholeheartedly support your quest. You intend to lead a legacy, is what I almost said, but what the book says is leave a legacy, and they wish to be a part of it. Take caution. Should you not commit fully to your ideals and intentions, you will struggle to actually manifest your goals. So I think that kind of supports this rejecting of the whatever this Knight of Cups was or is bringing to you, like wherever that falls in the timeline for you. Hi, kitten. Hi. You ready for tuna? You're a little early. Um, and maybe committing fully to the intentions and ideals is what brings you to that full realization of the suit of wands. So the Knight of Cups reversed. It is important if you are ruled by your emotions to ensure that jealousy or moodiness do not get in the way of seeing your ideas come to fruition. In the same vein, allowing yourself to become a romantic with no grounding in reality can be jarring if you're not prepared for the consequences. If you are ready to act, but the idea is incomplete, you may need to spend more time in the planning phases in order to begin your next great adventure. Hmm. Oh, this like, is that what it says here? No, I was thinking that it might say for the upright meaning, the part of the movie that came to mind was when, like, the unicorn, when she's getting chased, um, I'm blanking on her name for some reason, as many times I've seen this movie, but when she's getting chased by the bull, and hi, precious, and then she gets transformed in order to save her. Like, yes, it was a spur of the moment decision, but it was like ultimately the right one. Interesting. Get a card for the shadow, maybe elaborate on this a little bit. Six of coins in reverse at the bottom. But when the cards kind of plunk out like that, like the way these two did, seems like they've got something to say. I think you have something to say too, huh, kitten? Nope. How many is that? That's too many. I'm gonna take the bottom one though. So Ace of Wands for the shadow. Are you coming up here? Almost. You're thinking about it. There we go. She'll transmute a little energy. Mind the candles though, that's fire. Don't want that transmuting on your fur. Um, so Ace of Wands in the shadow, the inception of idea, the inception of will. And she has the horn here in the image. So she still is in touch with her true self. So maybe from the shadow, oh, that's really interesting because we're going from the ace to the king, from the shadow to the self. So, whatever idea it is you might be working on has some connection to wounding, to having to be something you're not. Because this, the human form, this is not her true form. She's a unicorn. Um, Making me nervous, kitten. There we go. Thank you. Oh, big stretch. Um, and she looks very meditative in this image. And you can see the castle in the background too. And when she was on her way to the castle, she had a very clear cut idea in mind, like very determined. And then she got derailed by being transformed into a human to save her. But then ultimately, you know, the movie, ended the way it did. I don't think I'm going to spoil something that came out in the early 80s, but she she was the only unicorn that ever experienced regret. That's a distinctly human emotion in this world. I think what it's getting at is really honoring yourself, honoring the true self, the unicorn that's been hidden away, and not taking your eye off the prize when you're presented with a cup. Because while that cup might be shiny and valuable, eye on the prize. Rankinton. Interesting. Yeah. So we get a card for the ego. So this will be the most external facing part of your psyche, like where the persona would lie. That mask. So the mask of the human that hides the authentic unicorn. It's in. It's not time for tuna yet. How many? Three. Three is like my max. So we have Judgment reversed. Oh, and this is that scene. This is where he transformed her. Synchronous. A Nine of Coins reversed. And Knight of Swords in the upright. all in the ego. Well, and being transformed from a unicorn to a human would be a pretty big blow to the mythical ego. Yeah, yeah, you did. And Nine of Coins, Nine of Pentacles, the Independence card, that being reversed, and her independence was taken away. And her agency, rather, that's the word I was looking for. Uh, because she wasn't given a choice in this moment. Her judgment was not consulted for this change. And that's an incredibly painful experience to not have your agency respected, consulted, etc. ad nauseum. And then we have the Knight of Swords. This is the knight who falls in love with her. I think he was actually a knight in the movie too. Um, and he's masked here, like he's cloaked. And he's somebody that really genuinely cares about her, but her inauthentic self. He doesn't care about her as a unicorn because he's unaware of it. And so his feelings for her are as genuine as they can be with the information he's presented with. So they're both being robbed of something in that exchange because she's unable to access her authentic self. He doesn't get the opportunity to fall in love with who she really is, and she starts to lose who she really is the longer she stays in that human form. Hi, kitten. I think that might be just a cautionary tale since these presented in the ego of being true to yourself and how important that is. That on this road to the authentic self, you may have to turn away some cups until you get there, simply because both you and whomever you're interacting with, be it romantic, platonic, what have you, all of you deserve your authentic self. And I mean, whoever you deem worthy of being given access to your authentic self, because not everybody deserves a chance with that. It's kind of hard to know, and not impossible. Like, you definitely have the discernment, like when somebody gives you the ick, to you don't need to be fully in touch with your authentic self to recognize that icky feeling somebody gives you and be like, no thanks, hard pass. um but it's difficult if you're not fully in touch with that authentic self to really have full realization into king energy to eventually achieve emperor or empress energy. Because there are a lot of things that I thought I wanted before I had a much better handle on the authentic self. There's some things that I really like earnestly believed I wanted that I just don't anymore. And that's a big part of the self-discovery process. I don't know. It can be hard. Hi, kitten. Yes, you're knocking stuff over. Let's get a audacious card for the underlying energy. Maybe kind of tie some of this together. This is another Etsy find, the Audacity deck. I just could not pass that up. It just spoke to myself. The Burned Bridge. Ooh, check out that artwork. Like the wrist tattoo. So maybe you have a tattoo on your wrist. I'm not quite sure what kind of flowers these are. Maybe carnations? Excuse me. Um, and I think I've seen a saying or probably many a meme. They're like, let the bridges I burn light the way. That's definitely the vibe I'm getting here because yeah, it's a burned bridge, but it's actually really pretty scenery with the flowers and like the rocky background and the starry sky and this eye is open, meaning I think that you can see the connections that don't honor the true self. And that's not to say like they're awful people necessarily. Like I'm trying to detach myself from moral language like food, good people, bad people, yada yada yada. Like healthy food, nutritious food, wounded people, you know, and a place values where they belong. But connections developed prior to getting in touch with that true self may need to end. And it's hard. That sucks. It sucks when connections need to come to an end. And that, like, for the best for both of you. Like, if you've outgrown a friendship, or if a friendship or a partnership, a romantic relationship or something is making you regress into unhealthy habits or substance use, that doesn't also need to be necessarily limited to drugs and alcohol. That could be unhealthy food. That could be wrecking your sleep schedule. People not being respectful of your needs, of the things that help you maintain your physical and mental health, like whatever that may be. So, however that expresses itself in your life, if you have to burn the bridge, burn it. It's never fun when you have to do that, but it's necessary when it comes up, unfortunately. Hopefully, it'll be a controlled burn. That would be my recommendation if at all possible. Try to limit the blast radius. you know, a lot going on for you, Leo. I'm not surprised though with Mars retrograding through your sign. And your birth chart might yield some insights too as to wherever your Leo and Mars placements are. So I hope this gave you, something to chew on, something to think about. And I hope you have a wonderful holiday season, and I hope this helps. I hope it resonates, and if it doesn't, I hope the next one does. Thank you so much.